Hi guys, just here to do a quick video. It's more of a test for my iPad. I got an iPad for Christmas, and this is the first time I've tried to record a video. So I've got Rob on here in the background just to give me some good luck. But I've had the day off today, so I've been listing some singles on eBay to sell and listening to music. So first thing I listened to today was this, the Bonzo Dog Doodah Band with their album Gorilla. Very quirky. I don't really know whether you'd call it psychedelic, but it's certainly not mainstream. It's a bit out there, maybe too out there for some people. And this is on the Blue Liberty label. Great album. Some great tracks on it. Probably most famous is Jollity Farm and Death Cab for Cutie. But there's some other great tracks on here. Looking Out There's a Monster Coming is one of my favourites. But yeah, very British band. Possibly the British version of Frank Zappa. But I'm not sure whether, I've not heard enough Zappa really to comment on that. This album I hadn't listened to for a while. This is Van Dyke Park's Song Cycle. Van Dyke Parks was the lyricist and I think did some of the arrangements for the Beach Boys, Pet Sounds, and A Smile as well. I think that kind of era. I think this is a US pressing. But yeah, this is a great. In the same way as this is kind of very British, this is definitely very American, and it kind of, the fact that it's called Song Cycle, it does kind of cycle through a lot of the styles of music, from kind of ragtime to jazz and country and yeah, just well worth a listen. If you haven't heard this, yeah, check it out. And how can any album with that cover be anything other than good? I also listened to this. I bought the soundtrack to High Fidelity, and there was a couple of Velvet Underground tracks on that, and I was listening to it in the car. I just bought it in a charity shop for like 50p. I was listening to it in the car, and it made me want to pull this out. And I was speaking to, I can't remember what your name is, sorry, Funny Face. He had showed his Velvet Underground, and I said I had a copy of this. He said he would like to see it. But this is their debut album, the Velvet Underground and Nico, and this is the original UK release, before it had the more well-known banana sleeve, and then this image ended up being on the reverse, but this just has text on the back. But this is a great album. Sunday Morning, I'm Waiting for the Man, Femme Fatale, Venus in Furs, Run Run Run, All Tomorrow's Parties, which is great. And then the B-side is maybe not commercially as good as side one, but there's great tracks on there as well. The version of Heroin on this is just great. Yeah, and although it's not my favourite Velvet Underground album. This album is one of my prized possessions. It's probably one of the most sought after albums that I own. There's that thing about rare and sought after. I probably have rarer things than this, but this is probably the item that most people most saleable, I would think. Not the most valuable, like I said, not the rarest, but definitely one of my top possessions. And finally, the album I'm listening to at the moment, another one of my favourites, is the debut from Vanilla Fudge, which I just love. Some people don't like it because it's so over the top. Vanilla Fudge basically made a name for themselves, taking famous tracks. So there's the Beatles' Ticket to Ride, People Get Ready by Curtis Mayfield, She's Not There by the Zombies, Bang Bang by, I think was it Sonny and Cher, plus like various other tracks. And what they did is they basically slowed the beat of them way down and made them hugely dramatic, would be fair to say. And ultimately they made bands like Deep Purple basically copied these guys. So hugely influential, because then obviously Deep Purple went on to influence a huge amount of bands. But yeah, if you've not heard this, check it out. Like I said, great versions of Eleanor Rigby and yeah, She's Not There. Just well worth a listen. This version is on the Plum Atlantic label, but obviously it's playing at the moment, so I can't really show you that. But yeah, that's it. So I've started selling, like I said, my things on eBay. I was going to sell that classical, but I think I've decided ultimately I'm going to hold on to it and try and sell off a lot of the things that I'm not attached to. It was kind of a strange thing. I thought, I've got this album that's worth this. It might be handy just to keep it, and then I have it for a time where I need to sell it if I need the money. So I'm going to keep hold of that, and I've started listing whole loads of my 7 inches on eBay. A lot of the things that I'm really not interested in anymore. So yeah, so that's my task for the next couple of days. So goodbye from me, and yeah, goodbye from Rob.